And this is Blood Feast 2000, one of the highlight events of IWA Mid-South for year 2000, annual Thanksgiving night event where the wrestlers would either congregate at Ian Rotten's house or at a local Cracker Barrel or perhaps the Golden Corral to have Thanksgiving dinner before going to the House of Hardcore or the Clarksville building to wrestle. And CM Punk to have a rematch on Thanksgiving night 2000 against his second round opponent from the Sweet Science of that year in the Suicide Kid.
Actually, Thanksgiving was always an interesting time around IWA Mid-South. I believe this year, Mark Wolf and I fed Thanksgiving dinner to Sabu and Axel Rotten.
What an experience that is. You can tell your kids about one day. And again, Suicide Kid hugging all of the females around the ring. And you'd think that, like, on Christmas night or Thanksgiving night when IWA would hold live events, and it was always a tradition for, you know, Memphis territory and other places to hold Thanksgiving or Christmas night events, you know, Starrcade. And you'd think, you know, would an independent wrestling event draw on Thanksgiving night? But actually, we would get pretty big crowds. This is one of the largest live attendances for IWA Mid-South in this venue.
Since their first encounter, Suicide Kid has gained several tattoos, and Punk has grown his hair out a bit.
And Suicide Kid also dropped the jean shorts in favor of black pants.
That's correct.
A little bit closer to gear. Rico Beatty with your ring introductions.
Your referee for tonight's match is none other than IWA senior official Brent Blades.
Oh, the girls love Brent Blades.
And his opponent, hailing from White Sales, New Mexico, is the former IWA Kid.
Two great light heavyweights to go at it. This was the opening match of Blood Feast 2000. Handshake, two fan favorites going at it in this contest. Your senior official at this point in time, Brent Blades, in charge of the action.
I believe this is when CM Punk was letting his boxer shorts hang out just a bit.
Oh, it helped him get over with the ladies a little bit.
Remember that lap dance?
Yes, we did. If for those that don't know about it, and it is out there in circulation somewhere if you try to track down the tape. We used to do lap dances in IWA, believe it or not. And there's a perfectly good explanation for that. We would have the raffles at intermission, and we had Bikini Girl at the time, who would travel with us from Chicago, wear a bikini and take ring jackets and stuff like that. And she, as well as Summer, who was Mark Wolf's valet at the time, both agreed to give a lap dance to the winner of a raffle on one event. And at the same time, people were asking, at least the girls in the crowd were asking, for one of the guys on the roster to offer a lap dance at intermission to the winner of the raffle. And CM Punk and Colt Cabana actually did a lap dance raffle for Backroll Beezy, one of the IWA hardcore fans.
Yo.
Figure 4 laylock applied down on the canvas.
Actually, I believe it's more of an Achilles tendon hold. He only has one leg.
Ah, yes.
Variation of the cross knee scissors.
Snapmare's Kid down to the canvas, holding onto that arm. Of course, on this event, you would wrestle Sabu.
That is correct. My first big name matches for IWA Mid-South.
Kid set into the ropes, ducks the elbow, sends Punk into the ropes. Going for the tilt-a-whirl backbreaker. Punk staying on his feet, sends Kid off. Ducks underneath the attempt. Punk staying on his feet. Belly to back. Kid staying on his feet. Jockeying for position right here. Punk sending Kid into the ropes. Going for the roll-up. Winds up on top. Lateral press. And an ear fall.
We almost saw the innovation of the lung blower there. Kid takes over with a hip toss. Hits the ropes. Japanese arm drag.
Both men simultaneously throwing the drop kick. Very evenly matched up athletes who Ian Rotten thought would set the pace on this night for the event.
Suicide Kid and CM Punk going tit for tat, if you will.
Yes. Another handshake. Also on this event, I believe Colt Cabana and Chucky Smooth wrestled Corporal Robinson and Too Tough Tony.
And I believe that's where you got a rib broken, is that correct?
Yes, from the corkscrew plancha of Too Tough Tony, putting me through a table.
Modified Northern Lights suplex by CM Punk goes right back to the arm.
Yeah, these two had good respect for one another. CM Punk would later go on to actually pay tribute to Suicide Kid after Kid was sidelined with injury and actually had differences with several people in the company, including management. And for that 55-minute tables and ladders match, which actually, if you go back and time it, it's like 47 minutes. But everybody always says 55 because it's really long, and including introductions and this mic work at the end, it's about 55. Actually, on his way to the ring, Punk wore a Suicide Kid t-shirt as a way of showing his appreciation for Suicide Kid on the final night that IWA ran an event in this venue.
I believe I saw Suicide Kid at an IWA show in New Albany.
Yeah, actually, one of the quadruple shots that we did, he showed up in New Albany and actually sat in on color commentary for, I think, a Nate Webb, Matt Sydal match, which turned into a tag with them against the Wild Cards.
Forward head scissor by the Kid.
So showing his great agility, duck of the clothesline by Punk. And Kid gets the head scissors on Punk, out to the floor he goes. And Suicide Kid, known to take to the air, telling the fans to move out of the way, he's got something in mind.
Very famous for a springboard moonsault to the floor. See what he does. Asai moonsault.
Right into the chairs goes CM Punk.
He deflects right off of Punk and goes flying into the many chairs. As you see, Mullet Security.
Yes, very famous Mullet Security for IWA Mid-South.
One of the staples of IWA Mid-South in the early 2000s.
Suicide Kid was one of those wrestlers that would not only compete in light heavyweight matches and against heavyweights in regular wrestling matches and be very athletic, but he also did death matches from time to time. He was known for doing foam tack death matches, barbed wire matches, and such. No stranger to light tubes, and now he's going for one of his combos, a series of leg drops from the Suicide Kid.
He went with a regular leg drop, a corkscrew leg drop, and a front flip to finish off the trifecta. Picking up Punk by his hair. Going for a suplex, it looks. Spins through, grabs the arm.
Punk would actually not hold any championships in IWA until roughly a year later, maybe a little bit less than a year later, as he would hold the light heavyweight title before capturing the heavyweight title in early December of 2001.
In Indianapolis, Indiana.
Punk reaching for that bottom rope, not quite within his grasp, as he snaps back on the inverted Indian Deathlock.
Kid showing a little frustration, decides to let go of the hold and just snap back on that leg. Here we go again.
A la the great Muta. He finally reaches the ropes though, forcing the break. Suicide Kid, a sportsman, releases the hold. These two participated along with yourself in a legitimately like 53-minute 8-man elimination tag match in 2001 as well.
Uh-oh, Punk handle pile driver.
There it is.
Did you see Suicide Kid's legs bend backwards?
He got all of it. One of Punk's trademark maneuvers at this time before putting that top rope pedigree to use.
Punk does not have enough in him to go for a pin though. At least not yet. There we go. He's going for the pin. It may be too late though. 2 and Suicide Kid kicks out.
He actually defeated Adam Pearce to send him packing to California up in Milwaukee about a week prior to this, I believe.
Actually, I believe it was the same week.
It was the same week. It was the day before, yeah.
I wrestled Matt Longtime.
Yeah, I remember that.
In my Milwaukee area debut.
In your not so illustrious IWA debut, or Mid-American debut.
Yeah. Uh-oh. CM Punk with a combo of his own.
This was one of his early combos, and he follows up with a stomp. Punk got a lot of his seasoning, not only here in IWA, but up in St. Paul Championship Wrestling for Ed Hellier in the Twin Cities, as well as Mid-American Wrestling.
Teaming and wrestling Colt Cabana quite regularly. CM Punk had a famous series of matches teaming with Cabana against their trainers, Ace Steel and Danny Dominion.
And that was across the independent scene. They did that tag in IWA at, I believe, Nightmare on Highway 62 was the early March 2001 big event in Charlestown. They also did it up in Minnesota. Nice backflip from Suicide Kid. German suplex.
With a bridge.
Oh, but he only gets 2 out of it. Punk actually had a series of matches against Ace Steel up in St. Paul, which culminated in a tables and ladders match for the Twin Cities television title, which saw Punk capture the belt. And the actual belt itself has had many uses in independent wrestling over the years. It was the Twin Cities television title, and after they got their own belt up there, it would later go on to become the IWA light heavyweight title for a period of time. So right now, Punk elevates Suicide Kid and drops him down with a side slam.
Trading punches back and forth. A nice little exchange, and Suicide Kid with the crucifix cannot pin him.
Punk right back to his feet, swings a little bit wildly, boot to the gut. Kid looking to follow up. Comes charging.
Split-legged splash rolls through a la Mike Quackenbush.
And the drop kick to follow up, setting him up perfectly for that trademark of the Suicide Kid.
And back down with a headbutt.
Down with the headbutt. A little bit below the belt with the
That
headbutt.
is correct. No problem, there's no rule in IWA Mid-South at this time. Irish whip. Punk reverses. Going for a sleeper. Has it applied tightly around the throat.
Obviously, at this point in time, Punk hadn't really fine-tuned his game. His moveset's a little bit different than what you'd see these days, but of course he's just progressed as a wrestler. I mean, your moveset has completely changed since those days, with the exception of the Hero's Welcome.
Yeah, no more frog elbows, no sleeper sweepers.
No front flip hip tosses.
Yeah. There you go. Suicide Kid making his way to his feet, the crowd rallying behind him. Jawbreaker. Uh-oh, going for the Suicide Solution. And he hits it. This is what ended their match in the Sweet Science 16, but Suicide Kid foolishly not going for the pin straight away.
Well, Punk, it looks like he might have hit his head a little bit too hard. He really came down clutching his neck after taking that maneuver, and Punk still down on the canvas. It looks like Suicide Kid showing some compassion for CM Punk. He appears to have suffered an injury here on a big event for IWA, but no, he rolls him up. Handful of tights.
CM Punk double-crossing Suicide Kid.
He lured him into that trap, made Suicide Kid feel compassion for him, and here comes Chucky Smooth, Paulie Smooth, and Colt Cabana with the headband, just stomping away.
And look at you, Dave. What are you doing?
Kicking away at Suicide Kid, because I didn't really like him.
Why are you doing that?
Because he laughs like this. Bah!
Yeah. Look at the tank top by Chucky Smooth.
Wow. I think he bought that at some girls' clothing store.
Oh, Gold Bond going down the back.
I think that was the first appearance of Gold Bond powder in IWA. I might be mistaken.
Sweet Science 16, I believe.
Oh, that's right.
Cabana powdered my eyes.
Yeah.
CM Punk. I'm not quite sure what's going on. CM Punk looks like he doesn't want the help from Chucky Smooth and Colt Cabana. It looks like Corporal Robinson slid in the ring with a light tube. I don't know what that's all about.
Got Blaze at ringside too, trying to protect Suicide Kid a little bit. Yeah, this was before the Gold Bond Mafia actually formed, but Colt Cabana still carried it to ringside. And looks like Corporal and Blaze retreating back to the locker room. And CM Punk, he got a cheap victory, but
Is this going to go into an impromptu tag match, Dave? I'm a little unsure of my history here.
raises the arm of Suicide Kid in a big close.
I should have known. CM Punk shows his true colors.
He was on our side all along. This is the true formation of the Gold Bond Mafia, with CM Punk and Colt Cabana embracing in the center of the ring. And look at Chucky Smooth. It's a springboard splash.
This is despicable, Dave.
It's not despicable. It's a groundbreaking moment in independent professional wrestling when Punk and Cabana would form their alliance in IWA. And here comes Corporal Robinson, and it's not Blaze, it's actually Too Tough Tony to make the save.